name is Victoria Lasley, and I work here at Making & Company Hair Designs part-time, and I also serve as the associate pastor at Fairview Moravian Church. A bivocational person is someone who works in two separate settings. So for example, I'm bivocational because I have a position in a sacred space, which is the church, and a secular space, which is the salon. I've always been in the church. I grew up at Bethania Moravian, and I had a heavy influence from the men and women there, raising me in the church. I felt called to serve the church in 2008 at Laurel Ridge, which is really when everything began for me. It was not a call to congregational ministry, it was a call to chaplaincy in the hospital. And through my education and through internships and experiences, my call and discernment shifted into congregational ministry, and long story short, that's how I ended up at Fairview Moravian Church for my first call. I started cosmetology school my junior year of high school. Education was not my strong suit, and so I wanted a backup plan for what if college doesn't work out, what if school is just not for me. I went in the spring of 2008 and applied for the cosmetology program, which is a 2-year program. I was accepted and began my junior year, and graduated in 2010 with my state test, and I started here at Mickey & Company in the fall of 2010, interning and assisting Rebecca May, who is a stylist here, and also helping Jennifer Todd as well. And then in 2011, once my license was completely finished and everything was transferred from Virginia to North Carolina, Wayne Mickey, our salon owner, offered me a chair.
I tell every young lady that walks in our door the same thing. It's all about him. Honesty, integrity, and morality. There is no other way to run a business, and I will not ever run a business any other way. So when they come in and hear the model that's set before them, then if they're willing to pursue it, then I'm willing to go the extra mile and push them in any direction they want to go in. And if they have a plan like Victoria has always had, then I'm thrilled to death to help her any way we can present opportunities for her.
It has been a very interesting experience balancing, if I even do balance both settings. I'm in the church with set office hours and time, Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. And then Wednesday through Friday, I have set time here at the salon. And then I also serve on several committees, and I'm in board meetings with the church. So when those happen, I'm there. And then I also serve on some provincial appointments as a trustee for Salem Academy and College, which is a church responsibility. And I'm also the chair for the Laurel Ridge Board. I think it has been a good partnership at Fairview. There have been some weeks where, like, for example, Bible School Week, there's a lot of expectation for me because I'm the associate pastor of Outreach and Family Ministries. We're in the call process right now, so responsibilities and duties are shifting a little bit for the time being, with Jeff Coppage as our interim and me being the consistent pastoral staff person in the transition. And it's hard because being half-time, I don't get to build those relationships with members of the church as quickly or as in-depth as a full-time pastor or three-quarter pastor might get to do. And so because of that, it takes me a little longer to get to know members.
She has a set schedule one place and she's able to juggle the other one. In my opinion, she's as organized as any young person I've ever met, and most older people.
But I don't think that the salon has heavily interfered with my ministry, because I feel like being here in this space is a ministry in itself. I get to talk with women day in and day out that are in different places, have different needs, and we all know when we go to get our hair done, our barber or our cosmetologist, whoever's behind the chair working with us, usually get a lot of information from us. We download with them, and it is a sacred space for many people, that relationship you build. So if anything, I think it has helped influence me to meet people where they are in the church and here in the salon.
On an average day, there's 75 people a day coming in and out of our doors. So each one of them has their own story to tell and their own life crisis. The biggest part that we can play is be listeners and try to make the experience that they have here as pleasant as they can be.
A couple months ago, I had a client come in who was scheduled for a color, and she, very emotional, had just gone through some really tough stuff. And knowing my background, she felt like she could come in and instead of having her color done, she just sat here and downloaded with me for 2 hours and opened up and shared and was able to have that safe space here that she doesn't have in other places. And so, if anything, even though we're not seeing members of my clientele necessarily in Moravian churches, they know who Jesus is. If they don't, they figure out who Jesus is by the time they leave, because I at least mentioned Jesus once or twice, respectfully. And they hear Christian music throughout their time here in the salon. We play it in with other genres of music to be respectful of all faith backgrounds and beliefs. So if anything, I think it has given me a lot of support in my ministry setting and here.
Faith has always been a big part of my life, so why wouldn't it be a big part of my business? And I've been very fortunate with the young ladies that are here right now. I think these young women have come together to encourage each other and to present themselves in a manner that shows that this can be the normal, in any industry.
So the question of, do I see myself being bivocational for my whole career is, I don't know. I am open to anything that the Lord puts in my path for a call to the church, whether it be 3/4 time or full time. If the Spirit leads and if it seems to be the right setting and the right call and the right time, and my husband Jim and I discern that as appropriately as we can, me privately and then with my family collectively, we would make that decision at that point. But I'm not willing to box the Lord out and say no in general, because I don't know what the Lord has in store for me and my ministry.